I am. I'm in Brazil. Welcome back to Brainrotting. Having successfully imported a spare part for my motorcycle, I was keen to retrieve it from Paraguayan customs and get out and see more of the countryside. Well, I had hoped to go to Chaco to see the Mennonite communities, and I also considered taking a boat journey up the Rio Parana to Concepcion. Unfortunately, I've spent my past week here. This is Aduana. These are the people that work so hard to give Paraguay the reputation as being the most corrupt country in South America. I'd grown tired of the customs officials trying to extort money from me, and I'd almost given up hope of getting my hands on the spare part when I bumped into these people who were keen to help me cut through the corruption and red tape.
He's trying to ask if you can get an appointment with the director of the stuff, so...
Negotiations continued behind the silver truck, and I handed over $100, and a few hours later my spare parts were released and I made a quick dash for the international border with Brazil. In Paraguay they have an expression, it's tranquilo Paraguay. I'd probably use a few different words like unwelcoming, corrupt, frustrating at the very best. It's a very unbrain-rotting thing to say, but I'm really pleased I'm in Brazil. And what a difference a border can make. The first person I met was a Brazilian Overland cyclist who greeted me with the warmth and friendliness that deluded me in Paraguay.
Estás muy loco.
And I quickly made my way north to the mega metropolis of Sao Paulo, where my introduction to Brazilian hospitality and generosity continued. The Brazilians are absolutely passionate about music. Even the vagrants in the centre of Sao Paulo join in with the fun. The Metropolitan District of Sao Paulo is vast, and it's estimated it's the home to between 18 to 20 million Palestinos. And Sao Paulo also has the biggest fleet of commuter helicopters in the world. But contrary to what you might think, Sao Paulo also has some beautiful green spaces, as well as some epic cemeteries to walk around, like this one in Concepcion. After 5,000 miles of long straight roads, it's time for me to get my hands on some fresh rubber. If you've ever heard the expression squared off tyre, well, this is what one looks like. The standard of street art in Sao Paulo is incredible, and it's everywhere. But what makes graffiti in Sao Paulo unique is the street artists have developed their own alphabet. But it's not just music that the Brazilians are passionate about. World Cup fever has taken hold of the country. And Havaianas produced a limited edition flip-flop for each country that qualified for the World Cup. Well, I'm ready, but the streets of central Sao Paulo are deserted. Where is everyone? Brazil has come to an utter standstill, but it didn't take long for the Brazilians to wake up. And here's their reaction to their spectacular first goal. It was scored by Maicon against North Korea. And this is what they thought to their opening goal against Chile. So Brazil qualified for the knockout stages of the World Cup, and I headed north via the beautiful beach town of Paraty. And once in Rio, I made my way to the FIFA Fanfest on Copacabana beach, where I discovered how the Cariocas warm themselves up ready for a big football game. They simply draft in the Mangueira Samba School. That'd do the trick. But sadly, these celebrations after Robinho scored the opening goal against Holland were short-lived, when the Dutch staged an amazing comeback in the second half to knock Brazil out of the World Cup. So when Holland made it all the way to the World Cup final, it was obvious who the Brazilians were going to be backing.
Faz sinais ali o chave que ele chegue mais. Aí está, Casillas, a Espanha. Vermelho e amarelo da Espanha. A taça que passa de mão em mão. Beijada por todos.
When I made my way into Lapa, I discovered that the Brazilians had got over all their World Cup blues.
E a beleza toda dos seus rituais, vem a lua de lua, para iluminar a rua, nossa semelhança verde, de que uma verdade se mistura, vem a lua de lua, para iluminar a rua, nossa semelhança verde.
Christ the Redeemer looms large over the city, and Copacabana's skyline is dominated by Sugarloaf Mountain as well as its high-rise hotels. The beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema offer plenty of distractions, as well as glimpses of what makes this country so good at football. But sadly, Brazil faces challenges too. Any view in Rio makes it all too clear that Brazilians live in a polarised society divided between those that have and those that don't.
I've done a lot of bitching about BMW not helping me out on my trip, but I've turned up in Rio and the head mechanic here at BMW, Flavio, has agreed to let me use his workshop, so fingers crossed I can put an end to my ongoing water pump problems. And this has been the source of my problems since Argentina. So usually I'm forced to make repairs on the road, but today I've been invited into BMW's garages by Flavio, the head mechanic here, and you can see the guy behind me is fixing my water pump for me. Have a look at my surroundings. Normally I make repairs on the side of the road, but today, check this out. So BMW and Rio de Janeiro have rolled out the red carpet for me. My water pump problem is fixed, and they've also replaced some bolts that were missing on my bike. They give me a hat, a t-shirt, a keyring, and lots of support. They've been incredible. It seems only fitting that this month's Toilet of the Month is behind me. It's Autocraft BMW Rio de Janeiro. Well done, boys. So I understand I'm asking for a little bit of creative licence here, but thanks to these boys, my water pump problem's now fixed, and in return I've awarded them the highest possible I can bestow upon them. So what do you think of that then, boys? Okay.